And by the way, John, can you come out?
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our weekly board session. It's Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. We're here in the Center Hearing Room at 555 Court Street, Northeast in Salem. And as always, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mr. Chair, may I know
Okay.
the Pledge of
Before
Allegiance
we
is
start
so
the Pledge of
important,
Allegiance.
but I wanted to notice that our communications, what's your title?
Communications officer.
Communications officer. Can you open up your shirt there a little bit?
wearing a Christmas tie?
Your coat? Look at this. First time I've ever seen John in a
He's in the season.
In a tie.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Now, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Miranda, do we have anyone signed up for public comment? We do.
Mr. Bean.
All right, David, come on up. Go ahead and introduce yourself for the record.
Merry Christmas, David.
I'm asking for the commissioners will fund on the homeless problem for disabilities in Marion County. And some of them don't have any services after 5 o'clock for the special needs population. So I was wondering if we can bring that up to the legislature, get more funding.
Okay, thank you.
And I want to do is stay on the board for mental health. I want to stay on the commission and get that done, because I want to work with House and Senate,
Great,
pass the bill on that.
great.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you,
nice
David.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Happy New Year's
You too.
for the county.
Thanks for being
And
here.
the county commissioners, and if everybody for the county, have a nice Christmas.
You too.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, David.
All right, Commissioner Cameron, we'll go right into our consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'll be happy to make a motion to move the consent agenda under Board of Commissioners. First item, approve an order establishing the committee and commission appointments for the Marion County elected officials for 2024. Under Health and Human Services, approve a contract for services with Tahana Salik, PMHNP BC, in the not-to-exceed amount of $400,000 to provide psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner services to individuals receiving mental health services at Marion County Health and Human Services through December 31st, 2025. Also, under Health and Human Services, approve a contract for services with John Michael Solar, PMHNP, in not-to-exceed amount of $599,040 to provide psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner services to individuals receiving mental health services at Marion County Health and Human Services through December 31st, 2025. Health and Human Services, again, approve a contract for services with K.L. Dieter, M.D., not to exceed amount of $750,000 to provide medical assessment and supervision for adult mental health clients in accordance with the individual's personal care plan through May 31st, 2026. Also, under Health and Human Services, approve a contract for services with Jeffrey Ludi, M.D., not to exceed amount of $780,000 to provide medical director services and skilled medical supervision for Marion County's Medicated Assisted Treatment Program through effective January 21st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. And under Health and Human Services, their last item, approve amendment number 1 with the contract for services with Carroll's Group Care Home, Inc., to add $101,000 for a new contract total of $200,000 to continue to provide residential services to individuals who are not Medicaid eligible or receiving Social Security income benefits, retroactive to July 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. Under Information Technology, approve a purchase order with CVE Technologies Group, Inc. in the amount of $153,973 to provide hardware and software maintenance support for fiscal year 23-24. Under Public Works, approve a quick claim deed to convey to grantee East Park LLC 2 existing pipeline easements located within the East Park Estates Planned Unit Development Number 2 and Number 3 subdivisions that are no longer needed due to the annexation of the properties into the city of Salem. And finally, under Public Works, our last item, approve Amendment Number 2 to the contract for services with Republic Services, Inc., to add $125,000 for a new contract total of $200,000 to extend the term date to June 30th, 2024 for the hauling and disposal of used tires from the Salem Kaiser Recycling Transfer Station, known as SKIRTS.
Okay, I will second the
We good?
motion. Yep. We have a motion, a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. And Commissioner Bethel owes you, because that was a long one.
Ooh, that's why I had to take a little drink.
Okay, next up is Phil here. We're gonna consider approval of orders appointing Jackie Follis and Chad Cox to the Marion County Mental Health Advisory Committee with terms ending December 31st, 2027.
Good morning, Commissioners. Phil Blair, Behavioral Health Division Director for the record. Here today to seek your approval for consideration of Jackie Follis and Chad Cox for the Marion County Mental Health Advisory Committee. We're hoping that Jackie and Chad might be able to attend. They were able to confirm that they were going to attend, but Sherry's out there hoping to try to find them. So the Mental Health Advisory Council.
Mr. Chair, do we want to ask for,
We can put you at the end of the agenda.
we can
That'd be great.
we can move this, and if you want to wait for him.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
Okay, let's do that.
yeah.
Okay, we'll move right along then.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. We'll see you later in the meeting. Okay, next up, is Kelly here? Kelly, we're gonna consider approval amendment number 2 to the contract for services with Ingalls Associates to add $229,882 for a new contract total of $1,025,154 to provide Marion County Fair Event Coordination Services through September 30th, 2024.
Great, thank you, and good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kelly Weiss. I'm the Economic Development Program Manager here at Marion County, and like Chair Willis said, before you today is an opportunity to consider extending the event coordinator position with the Marion County Fair for an additional year. So this will be so they can support us in the 2024 fair. So the amendment proposes an increase in fees of $229,882, and this represents really two different buckets of dollars. So we're talking about $49,150 of that being payment for services. So that's a proposed increase of $1,850 from the prior year agreement. And then the balance of that, $180,732, is for reimbursements. So this is because the Marion County Fair Event Coordinator is tasked with expending funds for many of the logistics of the fair. So they will expend funds for contracting for a stage, for tents, for lights, for sounds, a lot of the things that help make that fair run. And then the event coordinator is reimbursed for those expenses. So with those proposed increases with the amendment, the full total cost of the 7 years of the agreement for both the payment for services and the expense reimbursement is $1,025,154, and that would have the contract extended through September 30th, 2024. And then this is the last opportunity for an extension under the current agreement. So with that quick summary, I'm open to any questions.
Commissioner?
And thank you, Mr. Chair. And Kelly, we are going to put out a request for proposal.
Yeah.
And when do we expect that to go out? For?
Early 2024. I'm
Okay.
hoping for January, but don't quote me.
Yeah. I know you've been busy on a lot of things, so we appreciate it. So thank you.
I guess just two comments. One, as you mentioned, this is the total contract would be $1 million, but this company, Ingalls Associates, didn't get $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of that money actually went to pay for vendors and talent and
Yeah.
the stuff that actually goes to the fair, right?
Yeah, the vast majority is for expense reimbursement.
Okay, and then
Advertising, promotion.
Right. And then the second thing I just want to mention is the fair's been really successful the last couple of years. So we've seen an uptick in folks coming, and it's paying for itself. We haven't had to keep shoveling money in to support the fair, so that's a pretty good thing as well. So.
Yeah, we're very proud of how the fair's been going, especially since the hardship of COVID. We've come back stronger than ever. It's great.
Fabulous. All right, Commissioner Cameron, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve an amendment number 2 of the contract for services with Ingalls and Associates, Inc. to add $229,882 for a new contract total of $1,025,154 to provide Marion County Fair event coordination services through September 30th, 2024.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Steve, come on up. And we're going to consider approval of the subrecipient agreement with Soaring Heights Recovery Homes, the amount of $350,000, to provide funding assistance for the purchase of a home located in Kaiser, Oregon, for individuals recovering from substance abuse addiction through June 30th, 2026. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, we are bringing to you this morning a
introduce yourself
request
for
for
the record?
approval of the contract with
Steve,
Soaring Heights.
could you introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, I'm Steve Dickey with Marion County Community Services. Thank you. We are bringing to you this morning a request to consider approval of a contract with Soaring Heights Recovery Homes in the amount of $350,000 to assist with purchasing an additional home so that they can provide additional recovery services for individuals struggling with substance abuse addiction. The services were approved earlier this year as part of the annual action plan, which is required by the U.S. Housing and Urban Development Community Development Block Grant Program, and it is a project that will continue to serve the communities in Marion County for many years to come, and be happy to answer any questions.
Do you have any questions, Commissioner?
No, I think we've been following this all along. Steve, we just really appreciate your work in helping us. I know Chris and staff have been working on this, but since you've come along, it's been really a pleasure to work with you and the work you're doing. And this is another one of those great projects that's going to really help a community in a lot of ways.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. I also want to just say thank you to Soaring Heights for being a good partner here. Everybody knows we need more places for folks in recovery from addiction to live, and we need safe places for them to live. And so it's wonderful seeing us able to put more of these houses online, and we couldn't do it without Soaring Heights. So thank you.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve a subsidiary agreement with Soaring Heights Recovery Homes in the amount of $350,000 to provide funding assistance for the purchase of a home located in Kaiser, Oregon for individuals recovering from substance abuse addiction through June 30th, 2026.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks, Steve. Okay, Ryan. We're going to consider approval of the contract for services with Salem Health in the amount of $475,000 to provide inpatient psychiatric services to individuals with no ability to pay for the services, retroactive to July 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Ryan Matthews, Administrator with Marion County Health and Human Services, and I am here seeking approval of a contract for services with Salem Health. This is to ensure access to inpatient psychiatric hospital beds for Marion County residents that are indigent or lack resources. This is a renewal of a long-standing agreement that we've had with Salem Health. The agreement is an up-to amount, so it's not a fixed payment of $475,000. It is billed at a rate of $1,200 per day, based on qualifying individuals that are referred to Salem Psychiatric. This funding comes to us from our County Financial Assistance Award with Oregon Health Authority. It's part of Service Element 24, and it is really aimed at the uninsured, underinsured, or those that are not eligible for Medicaid or have exhausted all of their benefits or other resources. We do ask that Salem Health work to, if we do accept a referral into the bed and we're covering it at that rate of $1,200 per day, the expectation is that they will seek insurance and other funding to take over that bill ongoing. We usually tend to do just sort of short bursts, and then somebody is signed up for Medicaid, and Medicaid would take over the bed if they have a longer stay. Acute inpatient hospital settings may be required for individuals that have an acute mental illness or pose a danger to the health and safety of themselves or others. We don't provide those inpatient psychiatric services, but as the community mental health program, it's our responsibility to make sure that we have a plan in place so how our community can access that resource and receive services at the appropriate level of care. We've seen, certainly over the last year, how policies at the state hospital can impact people that really require hospital level setting and what that can do in terms of the community if they don't have proper placement. So this really helps to make sure that we have a pathway into the right level of care for individuals that otherwise wouldn't have resources. And so because of that, I'm here requesting approval of this agreement and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions, Commissioner Cameron?
No, well, no questions, Mr. Chair, but I know when we toured this, was that 9 months ago probably? It's been a while. We toured this facility and, it's full quite a bit, and it's a real asset to our community. And again, this goes along with some of the other challenges that we have moving people out of there into the state hospital, et cetera. And this is a real good asset. I want to thank Salem Health for what they do there. And hopefully we can get some help at the state level here in the future to make more room for people as we move through this. So
It's a good,
Yeah.
good point. That this is important, but this isn't really expanding capacity.
No, this just
is just
continues to make sure that
continuing
people
Right.
have access that don't otherwise have resources. Otherwise, of course, as you know, there's a demand on beds, there's a shortage. So what would happen is that obviously Salem Health would take the people that have the ability to pay for those beds. And so this makes sure that the people that lack resources, lack insurance, can still get placement, because there's a mechanism to kind of fund that initial placement, and then ongoing Salem Health works to get them the benefits they need to cover that on beyond that.
Okay. Take a motion,
Right.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I'll
No,
move it.
I guess I'm the chair. You're soon to be the chair.
Yeah, well, doesn't matter. Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve the contract for services with Salem Health in the amount of $475,000 to provide inpatient psychiatric services to individuals with no ability to pay for services retroactive to July 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Commissioners.
Okay. Brandon, are you coming up? We're going to consider an appeal of the hearings officer's decision approving floodplain Greenway, case number 23-010, Friends of Historic Butteville. Good morning, Brandon.
Hi, good morning. Commissioners, for the record, Brandon Reich, Marion County Planning Director. This matter comes before the board to consider accepting an appeal of a hearings officer decision approving an application by the Friends of Historic Butteville for a floodplain and greenway permit to install a gangway and dock at the Butteville Landing in a public right-of-way in an acreage residential zone located in the 10700 block of Butte Street Northeast. Since the documents were submitted to the board, staff's recommendation has changed. Legal counsel identified 3 items that, if the county's decision were to be appealed to LUBA could uphold the appeal on those items and remand to the county. The county holding another hearing would remedy these items. They are ensuring that the staff report was available to the appellants at least 7 days prior to the hearing, amending the notice of hearing to refer to the 10700 block of Butte Street, and ensuring the applicant has the opportunity to submit into the record attachments related to the letter they submitted about the floodplain standards. Aside from these items, there do not appear to be new evidence or argument to be considered at the hearing that the hearings officer did not already consider at her hearing. The applicant has granted an extension of the timeline for making a decision in this matter. For these reasons, staff is recommending the board accept the appeal and direct staff to work with the applicant, the appellant, and the board staff to identify a date for the hearing. The hearing would likely be late January or February. With that, I'm available for any questions you may have.
Commissioner Cameron? do you have a
This is interesting. So, yeah, Brandon, so if we do this, this allows us to have another public hearing. It allows the appellate to do the things that they claim they didn't get to do. And so we're basically saying, hey, maybe we made a mistake here in the process.
Yes.
And we're going to allow that process to take place again to make sure it's done correctly.
Correct.
Good.
So then if there were an appeal to LUBA, the process items were resolved and the appeal could be considered on its merits.
Good.
Okay.
It's always good to do it right.
I just saw in the staff recommendation the hearing date for December 27th, 2023, and I was like, So later in January or February sounds fine to me.
Initially, we did not have an extension of the timeline from the applicant,
Oh,
and that
I
was
see.
the only date available.
Oh,
So
I
if we
see.
do have an extension now, we're looking at late January, February.
We do have it?
We do now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Ready?
I'm ready.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair, I'll move that we consider an appeal of the hearings officer's decision approving floodplain greenway. Case number 23-010, Friends of Historic Butteville.
Is that okay?
Accept the appeal.
Okay, I will second that
Sorry.
motion. We have a motion and a second to accept the appeal of the hearings officer's decision. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No?
No, it's the first mistake we've ever made.
The motion passes. All right.
Thanks,
you.
Brandon.
Thank you.
All right. Commander Hartford, you're up. And we're going to consider approval of the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Corrections, the amount of $552,911 to provide funding for expenses related to the Family Sentencing Alternative Pilot Program, retroactive July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2025. Commander Hartford, before you start, I saw a survey that was done of our clients in parole and probation, and it blew my mind.
Oh, which survey? We did a couple.
It was a survey that my staff gave me, and it was like over 90%, oftentimes like 95% of our clients believe that their parole officer wants them to succeed, their parole officer listens to them, their parole officer cares about them. I mean, it was unbelievable. So I just want to commend you on the fact that our clients who we're holding accountable feel so supported by our parole officers. I think that's really, I would guess that almost no other parole, or very few parole agencies, parole and probation agencies in the country would have survey numbers like that.
Well, I appreciate that. I give all the credit to our staff, obviously. But yeah, we do an annual survey that evaluates for fairness, caring, and toughness, which are the three evaluative metrics for the relationship between the PO and the client. And we consistently score very high in that survey. So I'm proud of the work we do. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, that was not why you're here, but it blew it surprised me so much because I
Yeah.
know what a good job we do keeping everybody safe. It's also impressive to see that folks that we're holding accountable feel like they're being treated fairly. That's really a testament to your team.
Excellent. Yeah, we do great work in this county. For the record, Commander Mike Hartford with the Sheriff's Office Community Corrections Division here requesting approval of an IGA with the Oregon Department of Corrections for our Family Sentencing Alternative Program, or FSAP. This program was based on a successful prison diversion out of Washington State. This, as it's called, a pilot program, began in 2016, and it was launched to divert cases from prison to community supervision for nonviolent property offenders with medium to high criminogenic risk and needs, who are the primary caregiver or parents of children. This is a collaborative sentencing model with the Marion County DA's office, the courts, treatment programs, as well as DHS Child Welfare for case management. It focuses on, again, parents who are the primary caregiver of children with the goals of keeping families together, reducing foster care utilization, teaching clients skills to effectively parent their children, and maintaining stable homes. As this was a pilot program, the data continues to be collected and outcome measures continue to keep being published. As of the most recent report, data continues to show children and parents who participate in the FSAP program continue to have significantly shorter average stays in foster care than children of incarcerated parents. Additionally, the report indicates that recipients were 17.2% less likely to recidivate and 12.7% less likely to be revoked than non-FSAP participants. So we are one of 5 counties in Oregon that participate. The other 4 are Columbia, Jackson, Multnomah, and Washington. And the funding specifically pays for 1 community corrections deputy to supervise the clients, a recovery mentor, as well as substance use treatment. And approval of this IGA allows us to continue providing this service through the 23-25 biennium. And with that, I'll close and open to any questions.
Great, thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Cameron?
No questions, Mr. Chair, other than this is a really good program, and it really is, it's made a difference in people's lives, and I think that's what we need to do. We need to be, obviously hold people accountable, but I think this is another good example of Marion County stepping up and saying, hey, we can change people's lives one person at a time. So appreciate your staff, Mike, and everything that we do here to try to make people's lives better and keep the public safe.
We're doing what's best for the kids, right?
Indeed.
That's it. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that work. Looking out for the kids who often had nothing to do with whatever crimes were committed. So we're trying to do what's best for them.
Absolutely. If we can keep them out of the foster care system too.
Keep them out of
it's
the foster care system.
for everybody, yeah.
Yeah, and sort of tell their parents we're holding you accountable, but we're not going to punish your kids for it. We're going to do it in a way that kind of holds the kids harmless. I think that's really important. Okay, Commissioner Cameron.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Corrections in the amount of $552,911 to provide funding for expenses related to the Family Sentencing Alternative Pilot, known as FSAP, program retroactive to July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2025.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you, Commander.
Thanks, Commander.
All right, Phil, you're back. Sorry. We gave you as much time as we could.
I appreciate that. And Sherry did call them and reach out to them again and see where they're at. So again, Phil Blair, Division Director for Outpatient Services, for the record. Here today seeking approval for Jackie Fullis and Chad Cox to the Mental Health Advisory Committee for the 4-year term ending December 31st, 2027. As a member of the Mental Health Advisory Committee, we would be looking to them to support the development and operations of our mental health efforts as the local mental health authority through provisions of key information, materials, and data-informed recommendations. Chad comes to the committee with over 30 years of experience advocating and providing behavioral health services to older adults and people with serious mental illness. He currently is the program coordinator at Northwest Seniors and Disability Services. And Jackie Fullis has professional and personal experience working with severe mental illness as well as co-occurring substance abuse disorders. And she adds a perspective of co-occurring treatment for this population as well. So I'm looking for approval today for these 2 individuals for the Mental Health Advisory Council or Committee.
Great. Any questions, Commissioner Cameron?
Mr. Chair, sounds like we have 2 really qualified individuals to add to this
It does sound that way, doesn't it?
advisory group.
I hope we get to meet them sometime.
Hopefully.
I'm sure they'll be by to say hi. Okay, then I will take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve orders appointing Jackie Fullis and Chad Cox to the Marion County Mental Health Advisory Committee with terms ending December 31st, 2027.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Phil. Okay, that does it for our agenda. Do you have anything else, Commissioner, before we adjourn?
Well, we need to sing or say Merry Christmas to everybody out there, because I know this is our
last one?
This is our last board session before the wonderful holiday of Christmas and others that are celebrating in different ways. And I just want to say thank you for, oh, no, you're going to chair one more meeting.
I am.
Yeah,
Sure,
the one
we'll-
between
That's
Christmas
right.
and New Year's.
That's
So I
right.
was going to say thank you for your leadership and your chairmanship this year, but I'll say it again then. So, yeah, it's just really been a great year, and I think we've said this before. We can say it the last session is that, you know, the years from 2020 to 23, 22 basically, were really tough years with COVID, wildfires, and ice storms and all those things. And it seems like this year we had some other challenges that have been not natural disasters, but other challenges that have been put on the county. And I just really am thankful for the staff that we have and the way we've responded to those challenges. And next year is going to be continual work to do to meet those challenges. But it's been really good. I just want to say Merry Christmas, and I hope people can, you know, I think I said this to you, Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday because you don't have all the stress of the, you know, giving and the parties and all that stuff. You just get to spend time with people. So I hope people can find that moments to relax, enjoy each other's company, and be thankful for the work they get to do, the families they have, and the people that have surrounded them to help them at times. And last week at the CASA luncheon, I was able to do a little keynote, and I shared with people, I said, you know, your CASA's here, but each one of us, even though we didn't have a formal court-appointed special advocate in our lives, we've had God-appointed special advocates in our life that have come alongside us when we needed to. And those are mentors in different ways, and friends and family and you know, parents. And so it's really great to be able to celebrate this time of year and be thankful for the way we've been created to work together and help each other. So I want to say Merry Christmas to staff, and thank you for really a great year. Enjoy.
I also want to say Merry Christmas. And Commissioner, I feel like right now it's Hanukkah. And
Yeah.
I also want to say Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
But this has just been a rough time for folks in our Jewish community. Even though if you live in America, that attack on Israel that took place a few months ago was a terrible thing. And I know there's a lot of fighting right now, and it's a complex situation in the Middle East. But I just think it's important for us to say Happy Hanukkah and to tell folks in our Jewish community here in our community how much that we value them and support them,
and
especially at this time.
I agree, and every time I drive by, because I drive south, and the city of Salem has the candles up in the park. It's great to see them recognizing that. So yeah.
Okay, with that, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here, Victoria.